But the excitement still continues. You see, the next topic is, again, a very, very relevant one. There's a lot of talks about, is it the customer first approach or is it the product first approach? So let's go ahead, deep dive into it right with our experts here. The next one, which is titled as Payments, How to Build a Customer First Product Second Growth Strategy. That's the topic that we've chosen for you. So let's start by inviting our moderator, Mr. Amit Mishra, who's the co-founder and general partner, 321 Capital. Welcome, Amit. If you could give him a round of applause and make him feel welcome, it'll be very highly appreciated. Thank you. Aarti, Shenoy, Director, Partner Success, Ripple. Please welcome in. Let's make some noise for Aarti, please, ladies and gentlemen. Ajay Pandey, co-founder, Card91. Ramanujam, Pobbisetty, Country Lead of India, Data.ai. And Hemant, Vishnoi, co-founder, Encash. I'm going to request all of you to please join in. Amit, the stage is yours.
Thanks so much. So I think this is actually very interesting topic, and just to set the context, my name is Amit Mishra. I am one of the co-founders of 321 Capital. We invest in early stage companies, and the whole idea of being here is to talk to more fintech folks, especially on this side and on the other side where I was able to meet a lot of interesting startup folks here. So so when we are talking about customer first growth, the entire logic for fintech has been sales driven. Where is the money? Show us the money. But today I think the things are changing. The smartest of the companies are looking at customers first approach, right? How do they create customer success? There are roles like customer success now. What has changed in this ecosystem in the last few years, right? I think we would love to talk about that. And how is this customer first approach has increased in terms of validation as well as retention, in the long run for all of you. So, Aarti, starting with you, if you can, just introduce yourself and about Ripple.
Thank you, Amit. I'm Aarti Shenoy. Good afternoon, everyone. I work with Ripple. And I have been in the banking industry for 15 years, and I've been with Ripple for the last 3 years. I run the customer and partner success division for South Asia. Ripple is a crypto-enabled solutions provider. We move, manage, and tokenize value and work with financial institutions and the larger developer community to identify new business models with the help of blockchain technology and the use of digital assets. So one of the use cases that we are addressing is cross-border remittances. And we have built a payment network called RippleNet. We have hundreds of financial institutions on that, on the network. We create value for them by providing them accesses to new markets, for them to partner with newer counterparties and streamline the payment process with either the use of just technology for fiat cross-border or the use of digital asset, that is crypto-enabled solutions in over 25 markets across the globe.
Thank you, Aarti. So guys, this is Ajay here. I'm a co-founder of Card91. We are a new age payment issuance infra. With the changing demand in customer behavior, like they want to look payments from a new perspective. They don't want to just deal with the cash, but things like UPI and sending P2P transfer, sending outward remittance. Customers want flexibility, and in turn, businesses as well as banks, they need to provide those flexible infra to their customer, and that's where we come into picture. We are developing issuance solutions, starting with credit card infra, prepaid infra, debit card infra, and then going forward, we'll be getting into CBDC and crypto kind of solutions where we'll be helping infrastructure and providing it to the businesses as well as banks so that they in turn can solve their customer problems.
Thanks, Amit. I'm Ramanujam. I'm part of the sales team here at Data.ai. We used to be called App Annie. So we are a mobile market intelligence provider, alternate data as you would call it. So we track what usage of mobile apps. So app publishers use our data for competitive intelligence and to power their growth strategies, where to acquire users from, and how engaged are users on their platform vis-a-vis others, etc. So competitive intelligence for mobile apps is what we do.
Thanks, Jam. I am Hemant Vishnoi. I am co-founder of India's first corporate spend management and cards company. We help businesses to manage and digitize their corporate spends. Spend management, I think the context is kind of necessary, that it's not just expense management. When we are talking about spend management, it takes care of all payable, receivable, business spends, employee spends. We have helped more than 100,000 businesses so far, and have issued close to or more than 600,000 company cards overall in Indian market. We are kind of proud to say that we probably are the first fintech in India which is kind of running in parallel with their global peers, solving challenges around digitization or decentralization. That's all about Encash. There are many things to tell about Encash, but yeah. Thanks, Amit.
Thanks everyone. Right, and before we start, I think our customer success would, you are our customers now, right? So in the whole idea of having this conversation is, if you can, engage with us. So any questions, if you want to ask any of us, right? So feel free to do that. Let's carry on. So I would love to know more about your own customer journeys, right? How do when you started this, and what were the learnings? Starting with, if you,
Do you want me to
yes.
go? So specifically, if we talk about, we went operational in 2018, and then we came up with our platform, offered it to the customers as well as financial institutions. What we saw was specifically around corporate cards, the spends were kind of limited to travel and hotel bookings. Even if corporates wanted to do certain non-travel spends, specifically around supplier payments or bill payments or rental payments, they were not able to do it because of lack of card acceptance infrastructure. And even if the card acceptance infrastructure was there, the challenge was that how to pay hundreds of suppliers. We built the platform in such a beautiful way that now, without any frictions, people can use our platform, use their corporate cards to do supplier payments, bill payments, utility payments, rental payments, tax payments, and many more. So essentially, there were two outcomes which we actually saw in last 4 years. One was we were successfully able to build the penetration around corporate cards or commercial cards in various types of business spends. The other outcome was that if you look at small to medium size of businesses, while corporate cards is probably the best payment instruments to manage business spends, small to medium size of businesses were not getting the accessibility. Banks and financial institutions were kind of focused towards large businesses only. That actually led us to launch our own Encash corporate card for specifically dedicated to small to medium size of businesses. So essentially, to summarize our customer journey, I think we have able to provide all kind of payable, receivable, and expense management solution to the businesses, specially designed towards small to medium size of businesses. And at the same time, we were able to provide company cards to small to medium size of businesses, which were kind of lacking that kind of accessibility. That's kind of I would summarize our journey.
So, I mean, I've been with this organization for a little over a year, so I'll stick to what I have observed in this period of time, right? So, so our product serves app publishers for whom they have a consumer-facing app. So, what our platform provides is for them to be able to quickly look at what's going on in a certain industry or a market or a vertical or in their own space on that competitive set, to be able to glean insights so that they are actionable and take certain decisions based on that. So the core of our product team the thought process is to make these data and insights a lot more actionable visually, the insights that stand out. So our process of product improvement includes putting our ears down to how our clients are using our product, right? And what are the gaps that we could fill in making that experience seamless and more, that they are able to get more insights and intelligence to power their own decision making. Say, we built a whole set of dashboards because we realized those were the most commonly configured reports. So our product team decided, okay, why not make it more accessible with a single click rather than having to have our clients go through all of this, right? So while some metrics looked very nice when our clients were actually configuring these reports on their own, like, I mean, they were spending a lot of time doing that. For a consumer app, it might look like a very positive thing, but we actually cut down that time, right? Because we made it a lot more accessible with one click. But that is where that customer centricity comes in. So those are some of the things that we do. Keep our ears to the ground, listen to how our customers are using our program and our platform, and make it easier for them to get what they want.
So, Card 91, basically we are three co-founders. So Genesis was around customer centricity. So we got together in 2019 and we were looking at the advent of the FinTech. Lots of new companies were coming up, solving new types of problem and basically providing new type of FinTech services. There we realized that the infra is not up to the mark. Basically whatever banks or non-banking financial services or let's say BFSI players are providing, these things are lacking, and that's where we realized that probably one of the area is issuance of the payment, where there's a huge scope of devising solutions which not only solve the customer's problem. So our customers are business. They were facing problem like if you have to, earlier days, if you have to issue a card program, you have to go to a bank. And bank takes their own sweet time, and there were several other issues like accessibility of data, accessibility of innovation, devising new kind of program. That was a huge challenging task for the fintechs or let's say whoever wants to do that. So that's where we realized that there could be opportunity. The other thing is that once you provide a flexible platform, you can not only serve your businesses, but in turn they will be able to serve their customer well, because they have to devise new kind of payment offering, new kind of fintech offering, let's say around cards. So your platform has to be very, very flexible based on the open banking principles, and then providing all kinds of flexibilities, APIs, etc., so that they can devise those programs. And that's where we thought that devising a new payment kind of infra is the need of the hour, and that's where we started focusing into basically trying to solve the customer's problem.
Amit, I think the fundamental aspect of a service or a solution is what value it creates for its users. And payments as a domain touches everyone's lives. Payments is crucial for the success of any business. Just like the improvisation of the internet has enhanced everyone's experience in all things digital, enhancing the payment domain and how transactions are made today will create value for all of us, right? We are in the midst of a profound digital transformation, and during this phase, we think that our customers can embrace this change, and we are doing that not by disrupting, but by making sure that we are working with the existing financial system. I'll give you an example. I love what Ajay said about flexibility. Our APIs reside on the existing payment infrastructure of our customers. And we work with them not by them having to disintegrate their architecture, but allowing them the ability to use blockchain technology and crypto-based solutions within the existing framework of their system. We have our network, which is RippleNet, has hundreds of customers, the likes of Niem, Tranglo and Azimo on the global side. Closer home, we have entities like Kotak, Federal Bank and IndusInd, as well as, that's in India, and Bikash, as well as Mutual Trust Bank in Bangladesh, who have been able to use our business, our platform, which is as flexible, to access new markets and expand and grow with us. And over the last 6 years, we've been working with our customers to fine-tune our proposition to make it faster, transparent, yet secure. And with the efficiencies that we've been able to bring in, we've been able to drive the costs down.
Interesting. One of the things which I love about what I do is, I love hearing these stories because these give you goosebumps, and to do more. And we are talking about customers. Yes. What has been some of, if you can, all of you can share probably a couple of examples of how a customer, you were talking to a customer and how this customer conversation turned into a product, right? The evolution of a feature or a product, right? So, Aarti, you can start with that.
I'll talk about an industry-specific issue. The inherent challenge in the payment industry is the lack of accurate payment data. Lack of data or inaccurate or incomplete data causes failures. And the global failure rate in payments is as high as 6%. So we thought, why not standardize that data? See, banks struggle with that, Amit. The fact that sometimes payments get stuck in the chain of financial institutions, and the cost of investigating a failed payment can be as high as 25 to 30 times the cost of actually processing that payment. So we thought, why not standardize the data regardless of the geographies or the counterparties that are involved? We analyzed data as well as sat down with our customers to understand the most richest form of data that can be exchanged across borders. We have a stack that is standardized that's called the Ripple Payment Object that allows counterparties to exchange the data in the richest form, and something also called as the atomic settlement, where the payment we know upfront whether it's going to fail or succeed. That drastically reduces the payment failure rate altogether. So it has helped us drive down costs, increase success rates. It also helps in transparency in terms of screening that data, right? Compliance is something that banks cannot shy away from. Screening rich data, the possibility of interoperability also improves when the data is efficient. So that's one thing that we've been able to get success on with our customers.
Ajay.
Yeah. So there's this interesting story. When we were about to launch our product, and then we were looking in different payment market. So agri is a very, very large segment in India, and there's UPI is there to some extent. There's no card penetration as of now. There are some government card or maybe Jan Dhan or KCC kind of cards are there, which are not very, very deep into those segments. So we started looking into the problems. We had a survey. We talked to lots of farmers. So there were issues like the card acceptance framework is not there. That's one problem. And then some of the retailers, they were not ready to accept the MDR. So we thought that how to go about it, basically, since we were there to solve a problem. So we then thought of a system where we can issue a card to a farmer, and that can, at certain places, that can work as a closed loop, and other places that can work as an open loop. Wherever the cost is present, that can work as an open loop transaction. Otherwise, we will provide you a system, and that same card can work as a closed loop. And that's where we thought that this could be a possibility. After doing a CUG and basically working with some of the farmers, we were able to devise a solution which can digitize their payment. And basically, the client was looking forward to give out some lending on those cards, and we were able to put forward a program there.
That's interesting, Ajay. Thanks. So I want to go back to that example I was talking about, right? How we used customer input to build a product. So when clients are using our product, they're looking at a bunch of metrics related to mobile apps, right? How they are performing and vis-a-vis others, right? Be it downloads, active users, time spent, etc. So when they're doing this, usually don't look at a metric in isolation. They always want to look at 2 or 3 metrics side by side. So because an individual metric may not give you the complete story. So what we did is to actually make that step easier by letting our users compare 2 metrics side by side. So that saves them a lot of time and reduces errors also, right? And now we are actually in the process of allowing our users to build custom dashboards with the metrics that they want to see for any set of apps at any given point of time, sort of thing, right? So that's I think these are minor enhancements from a usability point of view, but make a huge difference in our users' lives.
It's actually a very, very interesting question, right? I mean, if you look at who's going to build the product if the customers don't want it. I mean, and if customers want to have the product, then definitely the customer engagement is required. Especially if we talk about our case, our length and breadth of the platform itself is actually built on customer engagements, right? We started our journey with certain use cases and then subsequently built a lot of use cases only because the customer wanted to have. It's just not one customer who wanted to have, many actually came and started asking for it. One such example I would like to share is many of the mid-sized businesses actually came to us and they said that boss, we want to decentralize our business spends spreading across various cities, and we want to digitize everything. We tried to figure out a solution by opening various multiple bank accounts in local cities, but we are still struggling with respect to end use visibility and real time reporting to the central office. I mean, one example probably was that one customer has come and told us, but we figured out this is a mass problem and mass challenge which is there. This actually helped us in building up card hierarchies on the platform itself. As I said that card is probably the best payment instrument if you look at. That actually helped us in building up those card hierarchies where various people around various cities can actually do their business spend, and real-time reporting was happening to the central office. It also helped us in building up various approval matrices which is kind of linked to the cards. That actually helped us in terms of building up many other use cases. If we talk about for example approval matrices, I mean if you go to any bank and ask for customization on the approval matrices, they will give you a bunch of papers to get it signed from someone, and then subsequently they will create portal hierarchies in the portal, right? Now, I mean, it was kind of, no-brainer for us to, build those kind of hierarchies on our platform. We built customizable 99 plus combinations of approval matrices on our platform just because of customer engagement. So I think, it's kind of very, very important to listen to the customer. It's not necessary that, you need to listen to only one customer. You have to, figure out a mass use case. Then only you should actually start building up your length and breadth around product. That probably is my take if we look at this particular question.
Right.
Just adding on to Hemant, right? So the way we function as a company also is that there are specific channels through which the customer facing teams can actually pass on feedback about the product and customer pain points back to the product team. And this team actually is glued to the channel and prioritizing what to bring up, what to address, how to address and stuff like that. And product teams actually interact with clients directly and in a systematic way to gather feedback, understand how people are actually using it, rather than just listening to metrics that are coming from a system. I think that's one way in which being a technology company also helps us, to make this easier to be able to listen to our customers.
Right.
So I think, listen to customers rather than one customer and build your product over and above. I mean, that should be the kind of strategy with everyone.
So I think it's very interesting. You know, I remember back in the days when I was at Naukri, right, and we are the account manager, sales guy, everybody. You know, we were the only people talking to the customer, and we used to take our feedback. You know, we used to told by these product managers that this is the product, sell as it is. We will not change it. Uh, but yeah, thankfully, you know, the things have evolved, and we are talking about customer satisfaction also. So there are a couple of individual questions which I wanted to ask. You know, we still have time. You know, so starting with Aarti, you know, Ripple is making the right noises. You know, the dent in the cross-border ecosystem, and you're working with, you know, people across geographies. There are clients. Uh, but you know, it's not one size fits all, right? Working across geographies means, you know, working across cultures. How has been that journey, right? And you know, how the team has tackled that challenge. You know, if there has been a difference of selling two different geographies.
I think for a company like Ripple, this has been actually an opportunity than it has been a roadblock. I'll tell you why. Ripple has over 500 employees and we operate in more than 50 countries. And across our offices, it has always been our endeavor to employ as diverse a workforce as possible. Whether it's ethnicity, race, gender, culture. And I'll dig deeper into this point a little bit, so it'll help me tell you why I'm saying that. We have employee resource groups within the company. These are communities for different categories of people. For example, women at Ripple. We have parents at Ripple. We have groups for Asians, blacks, Latinos. We have Pride at Ripple for a non-binary workforce. And all of these communities that are formed within the company instate a sense of belonging and allow them to be as diverse as they want to be and yet be rooted and be together in terms of a force. And that diversity and openness that the internal culture fosters in Ripple holds us in good stead in the countries that we operate in. So it actually unlocks a lot of opportunities. We know the flavor of the land even before we start engaging with prospects and customers. So it is quite the contrary. It's not roadblocks really, but it has helped us embrace the cultures locally and work with customers in the flavor they want us to work with them.
Right. So I think there is a lot of learning for all of us who probably will expand. I'm sure, you know, I think both of you probably would look at expanding. These could be, you know, good insights. You know, Jam, coming to you, you know, you work at the data side for everyone, right? Most of the apps and, you know, products. Because we have people from the FinTech side, what has been some of these benchmarks which, you know, the FinTech players are looking at when they look at customer satisfaction or, you know, from a growth standpoint?
Sure. So, I mean, we serve fintech players across industries like payments, buy now, pay later, or banks. We work with nationalized banks too, right? So, who have mobile apps. Right? So, when they are looking at our data, you would put a financial services app as in the same category as a utility app. You open one because you want to perform a specific function and then get back from it, right? So to that extent, unlike, like, say, a social media app or an entertainment app, the same metrics mean different things for a financial service or a fintech app, right? So for example, time spent doing a transaction. It's not something that you want to spend a lot of time doing, right? You open an app, you want to transfer money or check your balance and you want to get out, right? So there, a metric like an average time spent is expected to be lower than what you would see for a lot of other categories of apps. So when apps make those changes, make certain forms of transactions more accessible to their users, frequently used transactions or applications, right? Then that is reflected in the metrics that we see on our platform as well. That, you know, that the efficiency is going up while they add certain use cases, right? There was a banking app that morphed into something more than merely banking, right? Including payments and offering a host of other services. Yet though that time spent per visit may be lower, but they actually expanded their utility by offering these services, and that reflected in the frequency with which people were using these apps, the number of days when they were opening the apps. One probably to check their bank account, another time to probably pay the utility bill or a grocery bill. So that is where these metrics are reflected, and that's what our clients come to our platform for, to see the impact of changes that a competitor is making on the metrics of their apps, right? And to guide their own decision. A lot of times the data from our platform helps product managers buttress their case for further investment in a certain product or a feature. Yeah. So when they see that, you know, a whole bunch of their reviews are negative around performance or around login issues or about delivery issues for a grocery company, and that is not the case for an equal sized competitor, then the product manager or the logistics guy can go to them and say, hey, this is something we need to fix. We are not on par with the industry, or not doing as well as the rest of the companies in this space. So to an extent you could say our data and that benchmark makes a company a little more, or helps them to become a little more customer centric.
Yes, I think that the transparency around data, especially around functions, definitely helps. Because if a sales guy would ask a product guy, I don't have the data, at least, but at least the data projection and these points will help somebody to take their calls also, that we need an additional feature or not, right? Hemant, for you, so you have a B2C offering which you sell to businesses where individual uses it, right? So what are some customer first things which you have done, right, which has helped you in the customer retention and engagement standpoint?
So I think, if you look at specifically one of the challenges with small to medium size of businesses is that they don't have accessibility and experience for financial and non-financial products, right? And then if you look at the financial products as well, they are probably built for larger businesses, because ultimately, everyone try to get maximum ROI around, whatever products they have built. Our endeavor was, and when we decided, our endeavor was that, let's make experience of customer better than the large business, right? And that was the whole focus area that was there. For example, if you look at corporate cards, right? Corporate cards for the larger businesses, they don't get free of cost expense management, right? I mean, probably you might have not heard of. But when we decided to venture into small to medium size of businesses, our idea was that let's make them feel special, and that was the whole genesis of when we launched our Encash corporate card. And then what we said that boss, here is your company card which you didn't have access to. On top of it, here is a complimentary expense management solution, right? And to extend it further, we said that, let's, also give you a DIY card management module, right? Which you operate on your own, and you don't have to, bother about add-on cards, managing limits, managing users, and other things, right? Now, let's just compare, right? I mean, larger business got only corporate card. They have to pay heavy price for expense management. They don't have, DIY card module with them, right? That's where, the small to medium size of business actually started feeling value in the product. And that is where, they feel, I need to, get engaged, more engaged with Encash. And we all know, right? I mean, if the customer is actually feeling special and engaged, that leads to, continued relationship, high lifetime value. And that is where, the entire ROI is being built. So we know that, this is where, we should be actually operating on. So that was kind of, our approach since beginning, that we focus on customer's necessity and creating value for the customers.
Sure. Thank you so much. Ajay, I think I probably have to skip, the question for you. We just have a couple of minutes. So, to the audience, if you have any questions for the panel, yes, please. If somebody can give, this gentleman the mic.
Yeah, why don't you take this one?
Thanks a lot. Okay, so my question is to you guys that from a customer point of view, the feedback mechanism has to be really easy, right? He should not feel any pain in giving the feedback. It should not be a hassle. But from a business point of view, it should be very efficient. Like you need some action point to work upon. You need to go through and remove the clutter out of it. So how do you manage that feedback loop to actually make it efficient for the business, but at the same time making it easy for the customer? Or any challenges that you faced and you work on, any eureka moments that you gathered on that?
May I? Okay. So I think, two parts to it. One is obviously, the customer feedback, whether it is coming from one customer or many customers, right? That's kind of, very, very important to gauge. The other part is that, listen to your sales team. I mean, they are the flag bearers in the market. Whatever, they are interacting with the customer. They are actually, feeling the friction, pain of the customer. And the feedback loop should be, completed by being, sales team continuously in touch with the product managers. And product managers should be able to evaluate whether it's a mass requirement or a one customer requirement. That's how the gauging and the feedback loop should be, completed.
Right. Guys, I think we have we've completed our time also. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much everyone on the right.
Thank you so much, Amit. Thanks,
you, Amit.
everyone.
Thank you for the.
So if you can have a round of applause for the the panelists.